Not all Americans in the 1830s felt so secure about the future. Arcadian America was passing, but what was coming? The fear of decline began to nag at the edges of American consciousness, and one of the men who gave it memorable form was a transplanted Englishman, Thomas Cole, who produced a cycle of 5 paintings as a warning about the rise and fall of civilization. He called it The Course of Empire. The first phase he called the savage state, primitive hunter-gatherer culture in the wild. The next phase is Virgilian, the birth of religion and the arts. The Stonehenge-like temple with smoke rising from its altar, the grazing of flocks, an equivalent may be to Jefferson's ideal of a nation of yeoman farmers, an agrarian republic. This is the social balance, the Eden, that Cole feared was threatened by impending political events. For in 1829, America's 7th president was sworn in on the steps of Bulfinch's Capitol. His name was Andrew Jackson, Old Hickory, a rabble-rousing populist Democrat from the Indian-killing frontiers. And he put the fear of God into the establishment, including Cole's patrons, who viewed him as a potential dictator. The lessons of what can go wrong with the state unfold in the third painting, which Cole called The Consummation of Empire. No more the agrarian virtues of Jefferson's republic. Instead, populism has created mob rule, and the mob has thrown up a dictator who gives them a culture of spectacle and excess. And, in triumph across the bridge, here comes Caesar, followed by his train of subservient intellectuals and bought senators. Cole didn't actually give him Andrew Jackson's face, but he didn't feel he needed to because he thought the moral would be clear enough. There is something rather pretty about Cole's version of the awful delights of imperial Rome. No orgies. But he clearly had a great time doing the architecture of this marzipan city, column by column. In its nutty grandiosity and bathroom-like newness, it looks forward to Cecil B. DeMille. And he hints at what is coming. Those little children have learnt about aggression. They're staging a naval battle in the marble pool, and a boat is sinking. So when they grow up, these bellicose little beasts bring down stage 4, destruction. The empire is corrupt. It has fallen to the barbarians amid scenes of rape and pillage and mayhem under a stormy sky. Cole's viewers at the time would have thought of Edward Gibbon's decline and fall of the Roman Empire, and perhaps of the English burning Washington. And now history cycles back to its beginning, a wilderness with ruins. To me, this is the best painting of the 5, and in it, Cole is trying to convey the skepticism of Edward Gibbon through the language of Claude Lorraine. But the anxiety that he expresses is very American too. It's going to turn up at intervals all the way through American history, and especially much later in the Cold War. It's the fear that this culture, so new, so strong and shiny, can nevertheless be swept away in one catastrophic eye blink. Except, of course, that for Cole, the threat wasn't nuclear, it was moral. This is not the primal landscape of the first America, full of possibility, an innocent slate upon which anything can be written. But its exhaustion may be the prelude to rebirth, another cycle. We don't know, and Cole doesn't tell us. But that image of the ruined column, seen from where we are now, becomes a haunting prelude to the end of America's own mounting moral crises in the 19th century, which would explode in the Civil War between the industrial North and the slave-owning South.